Right folks, I'm walking up behind a tree. I'm back down at Todber on Homeground Lake. Same swim. Weather's different. I've had a lot of sort of warm weather, hoping the fish might pick up this time. And it's pushing down there. It's always windy. It's always going to be windy up here. It's what they call the Blackmore Vale. It sort of must come through the valleys here somewhere. And this is like on the high point here. So I'm tucked in here behind the trees just talking to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fish for catfish out here. I'm going pretty well all out catfish, but I'm using halibut pellet, a large one. I'll show you in a second. But there's nobody else on the lake. I checked with Mike. He said, no one's booked in at the moment. So why don't I just walk down the wind end of the lake, right down the bottom. I've seen one splash down there. Dump it down there and walk it back, because I've seen guys in the other lakes, on the long narrow ones, they cast onto the other bank, walk around, pick up their gear, bait up, drop it in the margins closer than they could ever cast. And I thought, well, I don't, you know, it's not hammered yet, so I don't need to do that respect, but I can cover more ground, can't I? Because I'm at this end of the lake. Suppose the fish are all down the other end of the lake. No, my luck, they probably will be. I'll show you what I got. They're about 5 years old, these pellets. My goodness. I had them up in, I don't know where it was. Somebody said use the 21 mil pre-drilled marine halibuts. What we call, I think in the trade, the carp trade, they call them donkey chokers. They're big ones, 21 mils. I've topped up with some of these, what are they, 10 mil, whatever's, high leakage. I've topped up with these high leakage, got them in a bag, and I've got it on a bolt rig here, look there. I've tied it up with a bit of fishing line so the hook's really close to it. I've got it on the rig there, going to hook this up, walk down, drop it in, and then spool it back. It's going to be further than I can catapult, but I just figure I can just cast down the middle there. Of course, somebody could cast all that way. Of course they could. I could cast that far, but it's much easier if I walk down, disturb the ducks and the black-headed gulls up there. They're all tucked up because it's not a very nice day. They're forecasting rain. I did hear a big splash. Pity I didn't see where it was. But anyway, I'll come right down. I like the feature of that tree, I have to say. I also like the back of that island, looking at it. I don't want a line going round here, round there. I think I just got to lob it in the middle. That's right in the middle of the bay. March it back. Obviously you don't do this, there's people fishing or people booked. There we go. Check drag. Ooh, it's pretty fierce drag. Check bait runner. That's all right. It needs to go down a bit more, really. Switch on. Forgot the bobbin on that one. Right, I got my heaviest bobbin on there because that's so far down, and I get a good drop back bite as well there. And it's out of the way. If I hook a fish out here, it's right down there. So that's there sort of for carp stroke catfish. And the other two, same spot I had before, just out. One to the right of the island, one to the left of that monk or whatever it is, drainage thing. Well, I've got the other two rods out. Can't show you the baits, it's just the old secret catfish bait. Otherwise it just gets copied and next thing you know it's up on YouTube. So I've got to keep something to myself. If I blank, I'll everybody be laughing. I had one bump on the donkey choker pellet, but I feel that is a liner. There's been fish splashing over just inside that island. That could have been a liner as well. That might be a pickup. I'm still seeing the line here tweak. You never know when you're fishing. I might just tighten up this left hand one a minute. There's a little bit of a bow in the line there. Apparently there's some of the smaller catfish will tug at bigger baits, and I have got a big bait on. No, I'm all tight there. Okay, got some trout pellets in here. I'm going to catapult some of them out loose, and then we can get organised. Mark was saying when they fished here before that caught them over a bed of pellets, so we give them a good spray of pellets. Might wake them up, might get them moving, you don't know. You can only try. Yeah, the guys that caught here apparently had fish flavoured pellets. Boilies, sorry, fish flavoured boilies I think it was. And I'm not going exactly in the same spot. I'm trying to spray it around so it gets them moving, hopefully. It's catfish I'm after. Looking now, I thought it was a carp taking them on the drop. Oh, I'm starting to get a little bit organised now. As you can see, I've had to put the umbrella. The ripples all the way down. It'd be really good for floater fishing there, if you could run a line of floaters down there. Mix of biscuits or bread, but there's ducks, so it's going to be a no-go. Just basically end up feeding the ducks. So I'm all set up. 2 baits out here, 1 bait way down to the right there. And as usual, no fish. But I've got the secret weapon, people. You may well wonder why would I put this and carry it in that bucket in the back of my car? And that is because this stuff is unbuyable. It is the last of my batch of pure raptor oil, the secret ingredients of which nobody knows, not even my son Mike. That's another secret. That's 2 secrets today, my bait and my oil. This must be 5-6 years old. I've got some various ground bait stuff in there. I'm going to put some raptor oil in there as well, but if you think I'm touching that with my fingers, do please think again. Luckily I've pinched a pair of the wife's gloves. I have no idea. It's all purified, that stuff, you know. I'm not saying you could drink it. You probably could drink it, but my God, would you puke? Yeah, it's all purified. It's all, you know, that's why it's kept. That's years old, and you can see it's clear. It's oil. It's pure fish oil. Put the gloves on, and we'll mix them up. I hope these are the right size and not the small children's size for kids playing. God damn, they're the small ones. I'll come back when I got these on, guys, so I'll probably have no battery left. I finally got... I don't know how I'm going to get them off. Very nice colour though, very fetching. So I've already soaked all this a bit, as you can see. Da 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 da. It's like Apocalypse Now, this. Oh my God, I want to save some for sharking. As I say, you can't buy this stuff, and you definitely do not want to spill it. I used to get it on my boat, Wayne's boat. My God, it goes like glue. It is a nightmare to get off. It's just fish oil, like all fish oil will be the same. And you get this under your fingernails, and then you have a sandwich later on, you go, oh, it's funny, that cheese and pickles taste, it's strangely tasting like sort of fish, cheese and pickled fish. This is just for any small fish in there to eat, because I'm a great believer, if the small fish are feeding, it gives the other fish a bigger, you know, the predatory catfish and the carp and stuff, it gives them a little bit of confidence. I definitely don't need my rods going off at the moment with the state my hands are in. I'm going to go and chuck a few balls of this out there. I wonder if I can show you what it looks like in the water. Well, not under the water obviously, but I'll probably get the ducks. I'll go down to the windy section down here. You might be able to see this, you might not. Should slick the surface off here. I'm going to throw it down there. Well, I can see it from here. See the edge of the ripples? Absolutely smooth. So you know there's fish oil in it. I'll try throwing some down on my bait down there. I can't turn the camera off now because I've got the camera on my head and fish oil in my hair. That would be nice, wouldn't it? What a mix. This really is more for you guys. In my opinion, there's only one good place for ground bait, and that's in the water. I'm going to chuck several balls along here just to move the fish and to show you guys. Look at that back there. Oh, I love it, mate. I'm going to see a poor big lure thresher in a minute, I think. That's about where I baited up before. This is a new ground bait I'm trying. It's agricultural horse feed suppliers, but it's not my normal one. They'd sold out of that, so I'm trying an old school one. It's had a good soaking. This one doesn't bind as good as the Bailey's #1, although that one did. Give it one more. Right, I've got to go back because I can't switch the camera off. But look, guys, see the ripples if I hold dead still? Hoping you can see this. All this is where the raptor oils come out of the ground bait. Yes, of course I could blank. A lot of guys here haven't done great at the moment because the fish haven't really switched on yet, because it's a sort of new enterprise, but I'm sure they will do. I'm looking for one fish today. They've got really good swims they built here. Plenty of space for a bivvy there, and of course the fish might come on tonight even, you never know, in the hours of darkness. Guys, I got one hooked up. I moved swims, brought it in close over there where I'd seen fish moving. Changed baits. I'll show you what I was using in a minute. It's not a very big fish at all, I don't think. Grateful for a fish though. Funny tweaky little bite. The last time I came I saw some fish over there, so I've got a feeling it's a small one, 4 pounds, something like that. We normally put them in another lake, I think, in one of the match lakes. Listen, it's a fish. I would take anything at the moment. I thought I was going to be on a skunk. Maybe it's bigger than I think. No, okay, that's not. Got a good bend in this rod. Oh dear, I don't know if that's a catfish. That's a strange sort of twang for a carp, that. Oh, he's digging down there, okay. A, I'm totally wrong, it's not 4 pounds. 2, it's stripping me out. That's, I think, is a catfish, guys, by the twangs. I'll walk it the other side if I can. That is right peculiar. It's got that sort of twang when you're going to ping back and lose the fish. I don't know if you've ever had that sort of feeling, you know, when you think, oh no, it must be a catfish. What are you doing? These are just woken up. Well, I don't know what to say, people. Catfish, seen it. Saw the tail. This would be nice if I can get this one. Wow, is he fighting or what? Yeah, that's a big swirl there. I don't know how big it is. It's gone from a 4 pound carp to a 6 pound catfish, and it seems to be going bigger by the moment. No, losing line again. This is weird. Oh my word, that's a nice one. That is a nice one. Was a nice one, I should say. I think they call it a snowman, you know, with what, a bait on and then a cut bait. Nice on the carp rig, it's not on my catfish rig, which is bizarre. Okay, I'm going to click off for a second, guys, till I get the fish closer. It's a nice lump bug. It's a nice one. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. I'll take my time with it. I took off the big donkey choke, ironically. Come on, let's just take a look at it. Oh yeah, please. Yes, please. Let's get lucky. We're not there by a long chalk. Oh, poor old rod. He's getting hammered. Oh, the hook is hanging there, people. Hook is hanging there. I'll try and ease him in. I got him. I'll tell you, it's a double myself. Oh yeah, jeez. Get it. Oh, success comes to everybody who panics. Just on the edge. Man, the hook fell out. Well, there we go, guys. You see the long tendrils on them here, barbels if you call it like that. And this is a very, very light sort of pinky one, and this is where they reckon the guys said they've been eating the carp in here. And they said where they've been eating all the carp, they reckon they've got that lovely sort of pink. I'll just come along the side here, just along there, sort of pink. But that's a lot of, what has he been eating? Was that all my bait in there? Right, let's get a shot of him. Oh well, that came out of nowhere, folks, that one. I'll show you the change I made just now. I've been watching a bit of movement. Let's take this off. And I'd seen a carp. I'm not going to weigh him. I think he's just shy of 20, might be 20. But, you know, what amazing colours, isn't it? See that sort of pinky bit? That is. Yes, please. That's what I came for. That's what I came for, even in the rain. That's worth the drive alone. I might weigh that, you know. I think he's just again, he's shy of 20. He is 21 pounds. Well, I thought he was shy of that. Just there. It's totally different to the dark green catch that I used to catch. Hopefully I'll still catch them. Right, let's get this guy back. That was a turnaround. Right. And for every chance, this fish has never been caught before, and that's the truth, because they were not fished for. Wrong way, pal. Oh, covered in slimy stuff now. Wow. I've got to say I'm pleased with that. My secret baits haven't caught, and what I was using were these. Look, it's only one fish. Look, I know it tells you nothing, but I was catching nothing to start with. I changed, and within 25 minutes I got this, but I think a lot of it is where I was casting. Big river barbel. I don't know what size they are, like a dumbbell show, but they're soft. They're not hard like a boilie. So I'm afraid I'm going to get some more over there. I did catapult just inside the left of the rushes there. Oh, it's amazing how the enthusiasm comes back, even my age. Well, talk about lucky. I think that was lucky, but I did make a change. What I changed over to was this. It is, as you can see, sort of dumbbell shaped boilie with a bag of 10mm pellets, purely because I thought I can't catch catfish. I've seen carp splash over there, I'll cast right tight to the rushes and see if I can get a carp. And as you'll notice, I'm such an expert, I said it's only about a 4-pound fish, I might have to take it to the other lake. Guess what they do? If there's any small carp in there, they walk them over, you put them in a keep net, they come and get them and put them in the match lake, if you have any small stuff. 21 pounds, eh? So that's what I've changed to. I've taken my secret catfish bait off, which hasn't been working, and I've just gone to the left hand side because I'm figuring, well, hang on, I might as well at least try and catch a carp if the catfish take that as well, and they obviously do. So maybe they're going to move now. I'm getting greedy, you know what it's like. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm only giving it another 3 hours, maybe 4 hours. I'd like to get another one. Anyway, let's get this one out. It's been howling wind, spitting with rain. It's really sort of grotty. I'm just trying to get tight on this fish. Lost him on it. Yeah. Well, that's annoying, that fish pulled off. He went from straight out of there all the way down the lake. I don't think it was a big fish, but it just pulled out the mouth. I don't think he's hooked properly, and I think he's dragging the lead and it spooked him. That's my honest opinion. So I'm going to have a cup of tea now, have a bit of a hot drink. I can't think of any other words to say that are polite. It's just what it is. And I'll have to put another bait out, won't I? I'm going to give it till 5 o'clock, and then I'll give it 2 hours, and I think I'll call it quits. Well, it stopped raining for a bit. The wind's gone right round about to swing the brolly round. It's gone round totally different. It's eventually got a feeling it's going to come out to the west more. Whether it's going to switch them on or not, I don't know. A couple of hours more and I think I'll call it quits. Wow, it's a shame to miss that one. Well, I didn't miss him, he was on and then he was off. That's fishing. When you sat for 3 or 4 hours for nothing, then you get the take, and that was on seafood, that one. Seafood, not boily seafood, proper seafood. Hello, what's that? I've seen something on that right hand rod. Pretty sure it's very windy now, but I'm sure I see there's a tap on that. There's definitely a tap. He's on. We got one on, I told you I saw a tap. It's heavy, I'd say it's quite a good size. Wow, look at him go. Right, net time. I'm so excited, it's not often you get something new. This is 100% unnamed. You remember I told you, well I can't believe it, let's get some water on it. I told you it was an unnamed fish, and I told you, you people wouldn't listen. I said there's a tap on that rod. There you go. What do you think, people? Yeah, that's right. It's a tap. I told you it's a tap on the rod. Do you know what this one is? It's named, it's not One-Eyed Sally, it's not One-Scaled Sam. No, it's Lime Scale. Oh dear. Lime Scale, get it? That's the name of it, Lime Scale. Oh, I think I'll tap out. Let's get it out there. Probably this is the last cast. Put it over the corner of those rushes. I've repaired all the brolly. And people say it's a huge brolly, Graeme. I say, yeah, I think it's 6 feet diameter brolly, a really heavy duty plastic PVC, whatever, patched up, sewn up, stitched up like a kipper. That's the saying, I think. But does the job, keeps me out the wind. It's a bit heavy to lug around, but this is a short walk on this one, so it's not too bad. So I'm getting it down to the last sort of hour or so now. We're looking at one take. So hook 2, got 1. Well, it's starting to get a bit cold now. Sun's going, well, down about probably another hour and a half. It's just not happening. The wind is quartered, what they call quartered. If you remember this morning when I was showing you with the oil on the water going that way, it's going down the lake. It's come right round like here. It's going really southerly almost, sort of southeasterly, so anything but eastern is a kiss of death normally. If I show it to you from that way, you can see it was going down that way, and up here was slick calm. Now I've had to move the brolly all the way around from the back here round to there, otherwise I just get chilled to the bone. And you can see if I lean out there, the water's all coming towards me, the waves coming towards me. Top on the hill, it's always going to be windy up here. If there's any wind, it's going to be on the water. There's a beep. I don't know, it's on the right hand right there. I think that was a liner there. I've had quite a few odd 2 beeps, but you know, half a dozen of those, they come to nothing, so I put those down as liners. Very sketchy weather. Drizzle, rain, wind. I'll tell you what I find strange. I don't understand why I'm not getting carp bites or more liners or activity on the surface or whatever. It's bizarre. So where are they? Or are they laying like this, dead still on the bottom? I mean, this is where we go fishing, but it's always changing, and it's always changing. But someone is going to catch a mega haul of fish out of here when they do kick off, because there's that, talking of kicking off, my umbrella's on the move then. Yeah, somebody's going to get a good haul of fish out of here once they start coming on the bite big time. But at the moment, it ain't happening. Grateful for the one. Right, I think I'm going to start packing the gear up. I've already taken some back to the car, and I'll give it another 30 minutes. I've packed a lot of the gear up, it's just not happening. So we get back and I shall go through the files and see if I can find anything else of interest for you people. But I just don't want to pack up. There's a lot of dark clouds around. You know what it's like yourself, packing up and it's wet and all the gear's wet. Oh my God, then you've got to get it out, put it in the garage, dry it all out. It's a mess. If you forget, it's mouldy. You get the pin mould in there. Right, hate to call it, but nothing is happening. Right, car time. Well, it's been a while since I've been in here, guys. In fact, I think the whole of the winter I haven't had the log burner going at all. So it needs a bit of a dust out, doesn't it? Yeah, so I'm going to get myself in here, get the stove lit, wood will be bone dry, and spend a bit of time in there, fingers crossed. Get some fishing stuff to talk about. Well, thank goodness I actually came out of that with a catfish. Shame I lost the other one. I'm saying it's a small fish, but I figure it picked the bait up, and the speed it went off at and down the lake, it was. I had a running rig on that one, and it's just pulling the line through the lead, and I'm probably feeling lead bumping. I had him hooked up for a few seconds and then gone. Anyway, now's the time to go fishing. Let's go over to Grant's Tackle Up. He's going to run through some of the tips that you guys might pick up if you like fishing with worms.
Hi Graeme, we're here in the bait shed at Tackle Up. just going to talk to you about sort of getting ready for spring fishing really, and one of our most popular baits coming in the spring for tench and bream and things like that is worms, to be fair. And as you can see, you get plenty in them. So this is a kilo bag, which you can see there's loads of worms there.
They're in peat, are they, Grant?
They're kept in a peat, and as you can see, as I pick the ball out, I try not to handle my worms as little as possible, but I'm doing it for the purpose of the video. They generally, other than get in the bag, I've broke the ball up already, so they might not be too happy. You'll find
better in a clump like that.
They are. So if you look in the bottom here, you'll see that the worms, what they generally do when they're healthy and nice, they clump in a big ball. So there you go.
It, yeah.
And they all sort of sit together in the corners.
So that's not a bad thing, because I've had that in the bait in the garage for 3 or 4 days.
So like, some of the things we keep our worms in this fridge. I keep my worms separate from my maggots, because your maggots, the ammonia producers, will kill your worms, but on a bigger scale, maybe not with a small tub. So my fridge is actually set at sort of between 5 and 8 degrees. I change it every now and again to see if the worms are not happy. You might find your general bait fridges you might set for your maggots might be 1 or 2 degrees. It's actually too cold for your worms.
Too cold?
They don't like it. So generally they'll actually be better off probably just like on a concrete floor this time of year, in the shed, garage, something like that. They're generally fine. But to keep your worms going, when they're in a fridge with a fan blowing, if they're on a shelf, something that I come across, it dries your worms out as well. So we actually give our worms a little drink every now and again in the bags. We only have them for about a week because we sell so many.
Yeah.
I literally put a shallow tray of water down, dunk the whole bag in it.
Oh, really wet?
And then take it out and then leave it.
I thought it'd be like a mist spray or something like that.
I've tried that, but this is what I've always been told by the worm guys who actually breed them and use them. That's how I do that with that. So I'll run through some different sizes that we sell. So kilo bags for the guys probably tension, do chop worm, caster, things like that. We do a ½ kilo bag. So again, ½ kilo of worm in weight. So that's, look at that, big balls.
Oh, I'm not going to say anything there.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, it's a bit personal.
So they're what, dendrobinas?
These are dendrobina worms. So these are what we class as a medium worm. You'll get guys who want small ones. This time of year you find your worms are generally bigger because they're not being bred as much, so they're bigger when they come out to you. But you see different sizes in there.
All British, are they all?
Yeah, so all the dendrobinas are British, so they're all done in this country. There's different worm farms about. We do different sizes, so kilo, ½ kilo. Quarter kilo is probably one of the most popular. So again though, you look at the pot, you wouldn't think there's nothing in there. There's quite a lot of worm for your money in there. So that's 250 grams of worm without your peat soil. But nice quantity worms that we get here.
Ideal size, isn't it?
Nice size for hooking.
Perch, bream, you know.
Perch, bream, things like that. Again, then you get 1/8 of a kilo.
Again, they're all in the same peat.
In the same peat. Say 1/8 of a kilo, 125 grams of worm. Still plenty of worm within that.
So if somebody's got those, wants to keep a few, because you'd be pushed, other than chopping these up and using them for ground bait.
Yes, yeah. If you're not going to use them all,
would you damp them still a little bit?
So to be honest,
I'm going to say this, I'm pretty sure I'm right. Not the tap water. Use what?
Rainwater, because you've got chlorine in tap water and all the other sort of stuff. It will burn your worms. Believe it or not, you think, oh, a load of rubbish. No, it makes a difference. Even so much so, I believe that mixing your ground bait, I always use a tap water or a lake water rather than a chlorinated water out of the tap. You know, so. They say my worms are quite cold today, so they're not moving so much, but they will just slowly go back under, out of the light, because they don't like the light, and then they go back under the soil. Another little tip I'm going to tell you about what happens in our worm fridges. I've got this newer style fridge. I've turned it off for the purpose of videos, it's quite loud, but it's all lit up and the light's down permanently, which means my worms sit down in the pots. So when you have a standard fridge, you shut the door and it's dark, well, your worms naturally, in a nocturnal scenario, come to the top.
Yes,
so what they do is, we've had it many times, they're strong enough to keep pushing these lids up that eventually they pop the corner.
Nice.
And then you open the door and it's like Medusa coming out the fridge, a load of, like a big ball of worms hanging around the fridge, and they do escape. They're quite adventurous, the dendrobinas, so make sure you keep, you know, you're alright with small pots. I think it's where we have quite a large quantity, they tend to just sort of try and find their way.
But it's mostly the light they're coming for.
The light they're looking for, that's why they come up. So, right, so that's all the dendrobina worms there. So we've got the 5 different sizes that I keep in stock. So, but in general, for a little small pot of worms for your fishing, if you're just off to the canal for a couple of hours, things like that, or on the river, There's plenty of hook baits in that one as well.
Yeah, that's the size I've done when
Yeah.
I've say gone down Watmore for an afternoon or something like that.
Yeah, handful of
That's
worms.
more than enough, that tub there.
Yeah. So, and then obviously, so these are all UK based. We buy them all from the same guy, from a worm guy who comes around once a week. And then we've got the lobworms, which you guys be using. To be fair, coming out the season of the lobworm really. People use them for tench fishing and stuff, but in the winter for the perching and things like that, so coming out the backside of it. So we do 3 sizes. We've got a 50 pot of lobs, there's 50 worms in a tub, 25 and then 10. So lobworms are quite expensive, guys, because they're not based from the UK. They all get shipped in from Canada every week, which seems absolutely ludicrous. But us fishermen are mad, and we do go to extreme lengths to get what we want.
Are they difficult to breed in the UK?
So they can't breed this particular worm in the UK. It's different. So what you would see as a Dendrobina worm, a lobworm in our country, being like an earthworm. I find our traditional earthworms probably more that size, a bit thinner. They're a bit longer, a bit thinner.
Yeah, they are fat, and they're looking at them.
They
now.
are
Yeah,
very
yeah.
fat, the lobworms. So.
Chub and stuff like that.
Yeah, chub, things like that, they're absolutely perfect. So we also do 25 lobs, so I'll just show you again. Plenty of worms, 25 worms, and have a look at them, they're like snakes, aren't they?
These are, you got 2, I call them saddles, those
That's
orange
it's a
bait.
saddle, yeah.
What's the orange markings on them there?
So the orange mark in the saddle is the part of the worms, I think part of it's like that's like the brain side of a worm, and this is his other side, right?
Yeah.
That's like an anchor, that big flat bit, I believe.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you see how big he gets.
Yeah,
That's
look at the
massive,
size
he
of
is.
that. Go place fishing with that one.
They're massive,
Look at
look at
that,
them.
they're
So you see
massive.
the flat bit really shows there, and they sort of pulse themselves in that to move.
It's in reverse.
It is, he's going reverse. But you can see this bit is much shorter and fatter.
It is, yeah, yeah. You want a fairly decent hook fishing with these, wouldn't you? And could you use sections of those?
You can cut sections. This is a big bait, really, isn't it?
It's a big bait, I
It's a
think
big
so, yeah.
bait. But I think that's why we generally import, because of the size of them. You know, they're huge. They don't breed these. They actually harvest these in the Everglades, and they're stored in big warehouses.
Really?
And then they're just all potted up and they're sent out on a weekly basis. They're flown out from around the country.
Hey, gotta love the British weather.
Don't, terrible. But I mean, they're a brilliant bait. So they're like a snake. I can't even get hold of this one. Yeah, quite an expensive bait for today, but I think they serve a purpose on the right day when you're chubbing and it's a bit more difficult. I think they're great. And in the spring, the fish are really active. They want protein, and I would say, looking at that for me, if I was a fish,
Yes.
there's quite a lot of protein in that bait.
It's a piece of meat for them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's off this one, look, guys.
Yeah.
That's what happens if the lid's not tight.
They will get out and they will go everywhere.
What do they feed the worms on generally in the UK or anywhere? What, you know, when having a...
So generally, if you were to just feed your worm you've got in your shed, you would want just you're going to keep a bag long going, and it was looking a bit tight because they've only got what's in the soil.
Yeah.
You'd use something like tinned carrots, unsalted, mash them up, and just feed a few spoonfuls in there, and they will eat the lot.
So you could keep it for how long roughly, Grant? If somebody bought a big bag off you?
I reckon you keep these for 6 weeks to 2 months.
Oh, really?
Quite easily, as long as the temperature's right. They like a consistent temperature. The more you fiddle with them, the less time you'll have with your worms, really.
And then feed wise, what would you give them, once a week or something?
Once a
few
week,
carrots or
yeah.
something?
I would just do like I've been told as the worm guys. Literally just do unsalted tinned carrots.
Yes.
Mash them up, a few spoonfuls in there, and they eat it. And then you'll find they'll actually start breeding as well. You'll get little eggs appear. So they'll
Oh, really?
yellow or orange little like balls in your worm.
Oh.
And you wonder where it's actually eggs from the worms breeding.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
yeah, you can keep them going for quite a while. So we do sell lots of worms, half kilos and kilos, for guys starting off their compost heaps. So nothing to do with fishing at all.
Oh, I see, yes,
So
yeah,
they're
yeah.
very popular for
Because it
that.
helps break it down for the gardener.
It does indeed, yeah. So that's a little talk on your worms there. Yeah, get them stacked up and ready to go, and that's your perfect spring tench bait there.
Aren't they? Bream, Crucians, wherever.
Yeah. Right, so another little tip, guys. So keep an eye on your worms. If you've got a couple of pots and one's older than the other and it's looking a bit iffy and the worms are sitting on the top, take them out the fridge. So if I left 4 pots of manky worms in here that was starting on the turns the rest of my worm, it all just turns, and like you
They
get
can die.
24 hours, the most of them can die, and it's a shame to waste it all. But they only live on what they've got in that pot.
And you can riddle them off, were you telling me?
Yeah, so you can chuck, say you had a big bag like this,
Yeah.
and then you thought, oh, some are looking a bit tired on the top, you want to get rid of them. So if you put like a big maggot riddle down with like a 6mm hole, chuck the worms on the top, just leave them on top of a bucket, they naturally go down because they don't want to be in the light.
Yes.
So they go down through the riddle, and then what's not moving will hopefully sit on the top of the riddle, which you can discard, and then put some fresh soil and bits
Or you
in,
could
some
use
feed.
it for ground bait, I suppose.
Yeah, you chop them up, use
yeah.
your ground bait. You just don't want to keep them with your live worm.
Yeah, keep it fresh.
It
You
will
want it
turn
fresh,
them
yeah,
with
I
the
get it
others.
now, yeah.
So it's a little tip there. So just keep an eye on your worms. They look like they're turning. Don't put them in the fridge with the other bait.
Well, that's interesting. I'm sure you guys can learn about worms. They don't like light. They want to be kept cool. They want to be kept dark, not too cold. You can feed them. There you go. You can feed them mushed up carrots. Wow, what a lot of tips. And because, as Grant said, if you've got compost, if you're a gardener, you can pop in a Grant, get some worms off him, and you've got ready-made compost chewer-uppers with those worms. And you've got them for fishing. Anyway, just before we close, I thought, what about that dog thing I had? Yeah, that was interesting, Graeme. Anyway, I'm at one of the country shows, and I could hear these dogs howling, you know, like the hounds of the Baskervilles. Every time horses went past this horse box, they were going nuts. I thought, what's that all about, you know? And it was, how can I describe it? Must be 30 full-size hounds in their horse box. They've got cages there, you'll see it. So obviously people stand clear when they're going to release them. And I thought, no, I'm going to go right in the tail of the horse box. Anyway, it was quite something to see these guys all come out. They were roaring, ready to go. They weren't doing anything except on a show. It's just a show there. But I just thought, I have never seen that many dogs come past me so fast before. What a good job I didn't have the Jack Russell there. Would you got eaten? Probably not. But a bit of fun. Listen to the racket these guys make. So there you go. That's what you call taking the dogs for a walk. 30 or so off them, my goodness me. Before we close, a couple of points of interest. I'd like to thank the guys. A couple of guys told me it would be a couple of winters ago. They said, because you're getting cold feet. When you get old, circulation's not so great. And I hate the cold, as you guys know. You won't find me in any cold countries. I'm more of a tropical man myself. Get yourself some of these, which are neoprene Wellingtons. No, I'm not going to buy expensive ones, am I? It's Graeme. But the guys tipped me off and said, go into, forget which one it was now, one of the cheapest supermarkets. You have to check because they're on offers, you know. $24.99 I think they were. But, my goodness me, what a game changer. They said you'll never go back to the old rubber Wellingtons once you've had these. And I have to say they are so true. I mention it because there might be some older guys like me out there that do suffer with the cold and circulation. If you've got ordinary rubber Wellingtons, for the sake of whatever these were, just try a pair, because I'm in my second year now, haven't abused them too much, fingers crossed, touch wood, they haven't leaked, but I think it's because that neoprene keeps your leg warm from your, say, your heel to just below your knee, so the blood is warm in that area, which sends it down to your feet. Hey, listen, it's just a tip. I'm not selling the Wellingtons, I'm just telling you I bought them from the supermarket. But boy, they were money well spent. So the other evening, I'm out stripping the car out of tackle and rubbish, and I hear this sort of boom noise. Oh, what was that? Is that a plane flowing over, or is it somebody's gas canister explode somewhere? Anyway, next day I go into the garage and I find loads of stuff off the ground, off the shelves. And it was this. It was my life jacket from High Sea Drifter. And it's blatantly obvious, it's exploded. Now, I suppose I could blow it up manually, but I don't have a boat now. But I don't recall pulling this canister. This is the emergency call to pull. If it does, it's auto-inflate. I put a film up where I was reclining in my fish pond in a hot summer, and one went off boom. So it does go off with a bang. But I believe, some of you guys tell me, I believe you can replace these canisters here, the gas cartridge or whatever it is that's in there, compressed air I guess, there. I believe you can buy those and use them again. I don't know the time, how long they last or anything like that. I think you change them every 3 years, but I just mentioned it. So this one went off bang. I suppose it could. Sometimes they've got a mouthpiece to blow them up. I can't see it on this one. Probably not. To top up. Yeah, it has got here a top up one, right? Oh, it's full of spiders. Yeah. Mind you, it's flat. So as somebody who's not the world's greatest swimmer, I'll be doing that. And then obviously you can deflate them, put them back into the neck piece. They are, I believe, called a flotation device rather than a life jacket. Just thought I'd mention it. Somebody out there might know. Can you get the refills for these? Is it common sense to get a refill, or just go and buy another buoyancy aid, they call them? Anyway, thanks for watching this one. Got some more to put together. World's gone mad and that. It's really manic out there, and loads of grief for utility companies on different properties. Oh my God, I feel sorry for old people, and I'm one of them. All I do is speak to chat rooms or something like that, and then you find out, oh, actually it's not actually a person, it's a robot. There seems to be, I don't know how you people feel out there, the older guys especially, we weren't brought up with computers. My son is like this all the time, and my daughter, they're straight into it, they understand it. I don't understand it. And everything seems to be computer screens, which I absolutely hate. I don't want to learn anything if I can help it. I just want to go fishing and enjoy the sunshine if it ever does come out. But it's the way forward, isn't it? Allegedly. So I suppose I've got to learn a bit more. Thanks for watching this one. We'll see you in the next one. I don't know what I'll put up. I'll go and look and have a scan around. If I get into the computer, we've got a computer man coming to help me out and sort stuff out so I can actually do stuff. And we'll see you in the next film. And don't forget, of course, look out Mike's TA Outdoors and see what he's up to. We'll see you next time. People always said I was full of hot air. Hang on. If I've blown up this one, why did it deflate when it blew up itself? That's a weird question.